Hello everyone, I'm John Garcia from PSE's Market Education Department, welcoming you back to Ask PSE where we answer your questions about the stock market, investments, and everything in between. May mga tanong na naman tayong i-featured in this episode and we will announce one winner from the questions that will be answered in this episode. So stick around until the end to find out who will win our PSE merchandise. Let's get started. Jim Martiha asks, what is the difference between an IPO, FOO, stock buybacks, and private placement? Okay, Jim, this will be a lengthy answer, so here goes. Let's first define the different transactions you mentioned. Starting off with IPO or initial public offering. This is a capital raising exercise conducted by companies that are selling shares of ownership to the investing public for the first time. Often called their market debut, IPOs is the start of a publicly listed company's life and the start of a series of equity capital raising activities at the PSE or even in other markets. Now, FOO or follow-on offering, this is also a capital raising activity done by a listed company. So it can be in the form of issuance of additional common shares, or the listing of new securities like a series of preferred shares. Now let's go on to private placement. This is a capital raising activity done by either a non-listed company, private company, or a publicly listed company. It is the sale of stock shares or bonds to pre-selected investors or institutions rather on the open market. This is an alternative actually to IPOs or FOOs. Now, ito hindi included sa tanong mo, but since we're already here, let's also discuss stock rights offerings or SROs. This is a capital raising activity where a company invites existing shareholders to buy more shares into the company. So, para makaparticipate ka sa SRO, you need to be a stockholder of that company already. So, the company gives existing stockholders rights, which will give them the ability to purchase new shares at a discount to the market price at a stated future date. Now let's talk about stock buybacks. This is an exercise that is actually opposite of the IPO, FOO, private placement, or even the SRO. Ang buyback, nangyayari to when a publicly listed company uses cash to buy its own shares from the open market. So normally, a company does this when they see that their shares are oversold and they find it cheap to buy it back from the open market. So I hope by defining the different transactions, I get to answer your question, Jim, and you're now able to differentiate the IPO from FOO, even SRO, private placement, and stock buybacks. Our next question is from Carlos Santiago. And he's asking, is it a good strategy to always invest in IPOs? So, hi Carlo, how are you? If I recognize your email right, you're actually a former colleague here at the PSE, and I hope you're doing well. Anyway, regarding your question, there are pros and cons with investing in IPOs. Let's start with the pros. Investing in IPOs actually come with a long list of benefits, and here are some that I want to highlight. First is the opportunity to act early. So IPOs allow investors to secure their positions during the early days of a listed company. So when an IPO is highly anticipated or mataas ang demand, the possibility of realizing big returns in the first few days after listing or even on the listing day itself is very possible. I mean, we've seen examples of IPOs that have hit ceilings on listing day and even days after listing day. Hindi nangyayari sa lahat, pero posibleng mangyari. Now, another pro would be the long-term benefits, especially if you invest in a relatively small company that is geared for growth in the medium to the long term. Then the chance of getting great returns is also high. Think of it as being part of that company's journey as it grows. Being that part owner, then you get to enjoy the benefits of the returns that comes with the growth of that company. And I also want to talk about transparency. Everything is provided in the prospectus. So we highly suggest investors to thoroughly evaluate the prospectus and learn about the company before buying an IPO. So companies that are traded in the stock market are also transparent, don't get me wrong. They continuously disclose using PSE Edge. But IPOs allow the investors to really study the company as the prospectus is made public before and during the offer period. So mas marami kang time to really learn about the company that's doing the initial public offering. Now, on the flip side, let's talk about the cons of investing in IPOs. Well, pinag-usapan lang natin yung pagbasa ng prospectus. It's very time-consuming. So, investors will really have to invest time, conduct their own due diligence by carefully reading and studying the prospectus. So, unlike in traded companies where investors can use a lot of web and mobile applications that actually does the fundamental analysis for them, yung mga private companies, wala pa sa mga apps na to eh. So, the investors will have to really do the analysis themselves. And next, I would like to talk about market risk. We never really know if an IPO will be successful until listing day. So, and we will only find out on listing day if the market agrees with the IPO deal team's valuation of the company. So, if agree ang market, makikita mo tataas ang presyo. Kung hindi naman sila agree sa valuation, makikita mo they are selling down the stock. And of course, also the lack of historical price movement to study restricts an investor from conducting technical analysis. You cannot do technical analysis for IPOs. You can only do this for traded companies with historical price movements. Kasi yun, may chart na. At the end of the day, Carlo, the choice really depends on the investor, his investment style, strategies, and risk tolerance. So I hope that answers your question. Now, on to our third and I think final question for this episode. Natalie Go is asking, where can I see the updated new IPO listing every month? Hi Natalie, sana nga every month may IPO listings, but IPOs do not happen regularly, which means that we should not expect an IPO every month. Okay, but whenever there is an upcoming IPO, a series of announcements starting from the preliminary terms and conditions, preliminary prospectus, all the way to the final pricing and the final terms and conditions, even the amendments to these announcements are posted in the listings notices section of the PSE Edge website. Now, days before the start of the offer period, the IPO is defined in the PSE Electronic Allocation System or PSE Easy, and it is announced via email blast to all registered PSE Easy users. So if you want to get the latest updates about IPOs or other public offerings, just head to the PSE Edge website at www.edge.pse.com.ph. I also suggest that you create your PSE Easy account so whenever there's an upcoming IPO, you get notified via email. Alright guys, I think that's all the time we have for this episode of AskPSE. Thank you for sending in your questions, and I'll see you again as I answer more of your questions next time. So paano yan? Basta pagkakat, if you like this video, okay. If you like this video, please make sure to leave a like and to comment down below any topic you'd like for us to discuss next. Hit the notification bell button as well to be updated every time we release a new video. For more AskPSE videos, please click on the playlist here. For our latest video, click right here and help us reach 100,000 subscribers by clicking the subscribe button right here. Also, make sure to follow the PSE's official social media accounts through the links in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in our next video.